Hello guys, today we are going to be continuing to take a look at a scenario where civilization starts over. This is episode 24, and in the last video we didn't really see much significant happen over in Europe, but we did see that a bunch of new countries were created in between the old world and this civilization. But in this video we are going to be starting off by taking a look at India, and this is going to be the Indian Compromise, I guess. I don't know what you would call it, but basically India is going to be split up like this. And if we look at the major city layer, we see that India is very populated throughout the whole subcontinent. But we are going to move over to Europe now, and we are going to see that the Western European Empire is going to, instead of being smart and invading one of these smaller countries that just broke away from the Danish team in the last episode, not the last episode, the episode before that, they are going to go ahead and invade the Northern Italians. And the reason why I say that this is not a smart idea is because we see that the Western European Empire, being so big, is having some stability issues. And although they're invading the Northern Italians quite well, we are going to see that some rebellious groups are going to start popping up throughout the country. First off, we see some of the two most recent, not most recent, but some of the most recent countries annexed are going to break away, including Ireland and Scotland. And we also see that the northern Moroccans / western Algerian country, they're also going to break away, but this is going to be it for now, as we see that the Western European Empire is going to continue to invade into the Northern Italians, and they are going dangerously close towards the capital, which is actually going to be taken. And this is not great at all because the Northern Italians, they're just having a bad time. First off, they lost this area, and they also lost Sardinia. But we also see that the red team is going to take over Corsica. And before the Northern Italians are completely eliminated, or even close to that, we're going to see that they are going to sit down and have a talk about a peace treaty. And the peace deal is going to include this area of the Northern Italians are going to be given to the red team, and then the island of Corsica is given to the the Sardinians. The reason why they do this is because because the Sardinian government is allied with the red team unofficially. They don't have like an official alliance, but they are in good terms, as well as the fact it's just also another way to punish the Northern Italians. However, we do see at the end of the war something quite interesting happens, as this large area is going to break away. This is going to include the Iberian country as well as the Basque country. And this is going to severely weaken the Western European Empire, which at this point is now just called France once again. Anyway, taking a look over at a different continent, we take a look at Africa, and we see more of the Gold Coast is going to be explored. And I'm on the wrong layer. Alright, there we go. We see that more land is being discovered along the Gold Coast. And it is going to end up looking something like this at the end of like the exploration of, I don't know, just the first exploration that they send down here. They're going to stop here. We are not going to see any new countries being made down here, but we are going to see that a new country is going to be made bordering this blue Senegalese country. And it's going to be a little bit more habitable, I guess. Like, it's a bit better to live in as far as, like, temperature. This is kind of still hot, even though we're getting a little further down south. This one is really quite good. And the borders are going to end up looking like this. But anyway, taking a look back over in Iberia, we see that it's not even been a year, and there's going to be a bit of a war. As we see that this old purple indigo colored Iberian team is going to be created out of this, and obviously they are not going to stand a chance. However, we also see that this Galician team is going to also be created, and basically they are going to sign for white peace. They do not want to fight this many countries, and we also see that the Basque country says that if they go to war with these guys, like right now, it's not going to end up very well because they would end up joining. And we see that they are going to sign a peace treaty to where they are friends now because basically a bit of something happened in the capital, a riot, and basically the government was overthrown and it sides with the other teams over here. So Iberia is kind of like peaceful now. However, we do see two more countries ask for their independence, which they give, and these are going to be this yellow team and this Granada team. I guess this would be Spain and this would be Granada. And then this would be like Portugal, and this would be Galicia, obviously. This is the Basque country, and this is probably Aragon. Although you can make the argument that it's Valencia with this capital city. However, it's not in a very centralized location, so I think I am going to move it to this city. And I think that looks a little better. But anyway, we are going to move over to Italy, where we see the Naples team is going to do something a little bit interesting. And they're basically going to have their neighbors join up with them. Obviously, all of these guys are oligarchies, so they are going to ask if they would like to join them, and all of them say yes, except for Greece, obviously, because Greece is very autonomous, and they're kind of like, it would be weird to have an empire form between them, but this is what it's going to look like, except for the capitals. I need to fix that. And we now see that there is only two countries on the Italian peninsula. And do you remember this purple religion that fled from this area? Yeah, basically, they're going to, hold on. They're basically going to be allowed to live in these areas along this peninsula. Anyway, taking a look at Hokkaido, over on like the complete opposite side of the map, we are going to see that they are going to discover this island over here. I forget what it's called, but they're going to explore along this island and go all the way up to about this point. And they're going to, it's not really a colony because it's super close, but they are going to claim some of it. And their claim is going to look something like this. We also see that they are going to discover and take some of these islands along this archipelago. They're going to explore these but not take them and stop there. We are going to see over here that the Chongqing country and this country, I don't remember what it's called, they're going to basically connect up through the exploration layer. And let's just take a look at the trade route because that's going to change with this. So a new trade route is going to start in this major city and go along the Bangladeshi country into this new country, following this river and its major cities, and then it's going to spear off this way. This might be a little bit like hilly and mountainous, but just disregard that for now because they're going to manage to get through it. And then we see that this trade route is going to be split in two through its two major cities, and then the northern one is going to go all the way over to the capital of Shanghai, and the southern trade route is going to go through over to the what's it called? Guangzhou country. I'm not good with my Chinese cities. I think it's called Guangzhou though. But anyway, it's going to look like that. And we see that these two are also going to be connected up just like this. And for the sake of simplicity, this is not going to happen at the same time, but we are going to see that all of these areas are explored. And we are going to see some expansions with all of these countries that have been created in the last episode. And we see that it is going to look like this now. A lot of expansions. And we see that Taiwan also makes a landing in China. But this is what it's going to look like. One thing that I would like to show for expansion off camera though, or on camera, sorry, is the expansion and exploration of Sumatra. It's going to look like this, and we also see that this archipelago is going to be discovered not only by the Malaysian team, but also by this Myanmar team. The Myanmar team, well, actually they're going to be the only ones discovering this archipelago. They're going to expand all the way down this archipelago, and they're going to make a claim that looks something like this. Now, are they expecting to keep this for a long time? Probably not, because it's so far away from home and there's so much land they can expand over here, but they just wanted to get some land before the Malaysians got all of it, and the Malaysian team is going to get this land along with these islands. And anyway, it is getting late, so that is actually going to be it for this episode. Thank you for watching. I will see you in episode 25, which is quarter of the way to episode 100. By the way, if you don't know, I'm trying to take this series a little bit slower than most people, because most people get to like discovering the Americas in like the episode in the 20s, and I just don't really find that approach suitable for me. I would rather take it a little bit slower because it's a little bit more realistic. But anyways, that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.